2023 MLB Draft is full of a ton of potential and a ton of promise. This could be one of the best draft classes that we've seen in the past decade, with the top 10 of the draft being some of the best that we've seen in totality. This is a group of guys that have unlimited potential, and there's a lot of them that very well could be potential Hall of Famers in this class. Today's video, we are covering the 2023 MLB Draft. Now, starting off here at number 1, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Dylan Crews is going to be the first overall selection. This has been a popular pick amongst the mock draft community, and I think he has solidified himself as the top prospect in the class. His bat-to-ball skills are incredible. He has big power upside, a phenomenal arm, as well as a guy that's just a really good athlete in general. I think Dylan Crews is going to fit in nicely with this Pirate system, and he should be able to make it through the minor leagues fairly quickly, in my opinion. So overall, the Pittsburgh Pirates are getting a tremendous player here at number 1, a franchise cornerstone to an already exciting future for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Add in a guy like Dylan Crews, and this team is going to go a long ways in that process of potentially building a perennial contender. At number 2, we have the Washington Nationals, and I have Paul Skeens going from LSU. So back-to-back LSU Tigers end up going here. He's a starting pitcher that ended up breaking the SEC record for strikeouts. This guy has been dominant. He led all of Division I baseball in strikeouts. He's got a fastball that averages about 98 miles an hour. This is a jump from where he was when he first got to Baton Rouge. He continued to work on that velocity, found out some of the inefficiencies in his actual throwing mechanics, has been able to average 98, which is incredible to think. Sometimes you can see him touching 101, 102, at certain points in the game. So Paul Skeens here is, to me, a lock to go number 2 to the Nationals. This guy is legit. I think if you're looking for a front-of-the-line starter, a guy that can be a dominant force at the start of a rotation, he's one of the best pitching prospects we've seen since Steven Strasburg. So this is very fitting to see him go number 2 here to the Washington Nationals. I love this pick. I think it makes a lot of sense for all parties here. And the Nationals, once again, in the middle of their rebuild, are getting an established arm that, once again, shouldn't take super long to get through the minor league system. He is ready. It's going to be a tremendous turnaround, hopefully for their rotation as they continue to build towards the future. Number 3, I have the Detroit Tigers. Now, the Detroit Tigers, to me, have a lot of franchise cornerstones already in place coming up through the minor league system. And I look at a guy like Wyatt Langford as being arguably, the best hitter available in terms of actual potential. You look at his swinging mechanics are so pure. They're so clean. There's not a lot of wasted, movement in his swing. He's the closest thing that we really do have to an actual 5-tool player in the entire class, which speaks a lot to his overall abilities, as well as this is a very talented class. So to say that about a guy is pretty special. So Wyatt Langford, smooth swing, good athlete, good arm, good fielder. He possesses all of which could make a tremendous corner outfielder. And once again, a franchise cornerstone. This is a guy that could hit number 3 when he ends up making it up to the major leagues at some point in his career. He's got that kind of bat, and he's going to be a plus defender as well. So Wyatt Langford is another guy that we have to keep, watching throughout this process. Number 4, I have the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers already in a great position. They're first in the AL West, but you add in a guy like Max Clark. Max Clark is one of the more interesting players because I think his power potential is unlimited. This guy can really hit for power. I think long-term, as he continues to build up strength in terms of, really growing into his body and becoming a pro, he is going to have some massive power upside. You could see this being potentially a 30 home run guy a year consistently in terms of what he possesses for that. So you got to love what you have here. And Max Clark as well is a true line drive hitter, something that in terms of the actual prep bats, he might be the best one that is currently available. He hits to all fields. Max Clark is that guy. I think long-term, he can be a big-time threat. Now, another player, too, now jumping into the Minnesota Twins, has got a lot of pop in his bat. It's going to be Walker Jenkins. Now, Walker Jenkins has big-time power. He's 6'3", 210. He also was the North Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year twice. So that shows just how good of a player he is. He dominated the state of North Carolina or South Carolina, and I think that he can be one of those players that emerges as one of the big winners from the draft. Minnesota Twins are banking on some potential, some youth, and I think Walker Jenkins is going to be a tremendous corner outfielder as well for the Minnesota Twins. So back-to-back corner outfielders end up going here. Walker Jenkins as well as Max Clark. These two guys are going to be high-impact prep bats that are definitely worthy of taking in that top 5. Number 6, we have the Oakland A's. The Oakland A's, to me, are going to be seeking out some pitching. Noble Mayer is one of those guys from J-Suit High School in Oregon. He's kind of exciting, and the reason I say that is because he's got a huge frame. He's a little bit slim, but at the end of the day, he's got a really great frame to work off of. He throws about 98 miles an hour, super tight slider, and a very complimentary changeup to work into that. So high velocity fastball, a good throw you off changeup, and a tight slider is kind of the recipe for a potential front of the line starter at some point in his career. So I look at Noble Mayer as one of those players that we have to keep watch of. Number 7 here, we have Cincinnati Reds. Chase Dollinger is one of those players that had a little bit of inconsistency, I guess if you will, at Tennessee. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but his potential is one of the highest in the entire class. The guy absolutely throws gas. He throws gas. He has the makeup of being a front of the line guy. However, there were some inconsistencies. He had over a 4 ERA at Tennessee this year. So Dollinger is one of those players that we have to consider as high risk, high reward. And I think it's definitely worth taking a guy like that, in my opinion, because he has the makeup, he has the stuff, and it's going to take some professionals in an organization to be able to correct some of those issues. So the Cincinnati Reds, to me, at number 7 are a great fit. They have the stability. They have been able to develop some pitching as well. So the Reds here at 7. Next player we have up for the Royals, Blake Mitchell. Now, Blake Mitchell is kind of an interesting case here because he's a phenomenal athlete with a big-time arm. He's got a 70-grade arm. Definitely a guy that will be able to stick defensively behind the plate. I think long-term the Royals could be looking for some catching options in terms of, where they're at with their organization and just, being able to get another guy in terms of that depth of the farm system. I think catcher is the spot that they very well could look. Blake Mitchell is my pick. At number 9, we have the Colorado Rockies. To me, Rhett Lauder from Wake Forest is one of the premier arms in the actual class. We've seen him go head-to-head with the best, like Paul Skeens. And I look at Lauder as one of those players that, he probably has the best changeup in the entire class. When you watch his changeup, it's absolutely filthy. He gets a high whiff rate off of it. He throws, 97, 98. So really good makeup for a guy. He's an experienced, college starter. So I think the Colorado Rockies are going to continue to look to add some pitching in the organization, and Rhett Lauder is my guy. Number 10, I got Kyle Teal from going to the Miami Marlins, another team that could be looking for a little bit more depth in the organization in terms of some catching prospects. Currently with Nick Fortes, I think that's not really the long-term answer for them, in my opinion. So a guy like Kyle Teal, who's super athletic, he's played in the middle infield, he's played in the outfield. This is a tremendous athlete, but once again, I think he has the glove to stay. So to me, the Marlins at 10, getting an athletic catcher that's going to make some big time plays, and to me it's going to be a really good defensive catcher. Makes some sense here. They've been super hyper focused on pitching, and I think getting a guy that could call a really good game would be beneficial here. Number 11, we have the Angels, and to me, Braden Taylor is one of those guys that are going to be pretty exciting moving forward, just for the sheer fact that he has some power potential. He actually broke TCU's single season record for homers in a year as well as homers in a career. Angels adding some more pop, at the hot corner there. I think he's going to provide a little bit of versatility, but he's best suited there at third base. The Angels getting some more pop long term is really good for this minor league system, and to me, he's a perfect fit at 11. 12, I have Hurston Waldrep. Hurston is one of the more interesting cases here. I like Hurston from the sheer fact that he has some good makeup. However, there are some command issues that you have to be watching. If there's a team that's going to be able to right the wrongs, I think it's going to be the Diamondbacks. They have some guys that had some control issues in the minors. They've been able to adjust that and correct it, And I think the Diamondbacks here make a lot of sense for a guy like Hurston, who, didn't always flash the most consistency, but I do think he is a really good option for them. At 13, I have Arjun Nimala, from Strawberry Crest High School in Florida. Arjun is an athletic shortstop. He's a good fielder. He's super aggressive with his hands. He's quick on inside pitches. So I think the Chicago Cubs here, getting a versatile infielder that can play multiple positions. Chicago should be, super psyched up about this. They need a little bit more position versatility in that minor league system. So to me, 13 makes some sense. Number 14, we have the Boston Red Sox. Jacob Wilson from GCU, son of the coach. Jacob Wilson has been able to display his ability to hit to all fields, and he's one of those experienced guys that I think is, one of those better college hitters in totality. I have liked what I've seen from him. I think it's kind of interesting that in terms of what he has, he's just one of the best pure hitters. You just have to watch him to truly understand that this guy is a true hitter, knows how to find the gaps, and Jacob Wilson is as good as they come in the class for that. Number 15, we have the Chicago White Sox. I think Tommy White from Phillips Academy in Massachusetts is a really good selection here. Good makeup, one of the better prospects in terms of prep arms from the left-handed side in the entire class. I think there's going to be room for improvement in terms of, tightening up that command a little bit, but the Chicago White Sox are in desperate need, in my opinion, in their minor league system to get some more pitching. So to me, Tommy White is a perfect fit. Number 16, we have the San Francisco Giants. Colin Houck from Parkview High School in Georgia. Colin is a player that has some big-time power as well. Some people would call it raw power, but I think in actual terms of where he's going to be, this could be another 25 to 30 home run guy once he makes it to the majors. The Giants collecting some more power in that minor league system will not hurt them. I think that's something that they'll be looking to add in the draft, especially in the early rounds. 17, we have the Baltimore Orioles, and I think the Baltimore Orioles are getting a good one here in Aiden Mitchell. From an actual value standpoint, he could be a top 12 player, slides a little bit in this mock, but Aiden Mitchell is going to be one of those hitters that you're not really going to want to miss out on in terms of like a prep bat. He's super advanced for his age, and I think the Orioles can really maximize him here. They got a lot of hitters in the organization, but I think they continue to add more here and go for a guy like Aiden Mitchell. To me, this is a good fit for them, and it just works out. Number 18, we have the Milwaukee Brewers. Tommy Troy, one of the better players in the class. From an advanced hitting perspective, this guy knows how to hit the ball. Super consistent at Stanford. He's got a plus glove. The Milwaukee Brewers are looking for a guy to be able to hit to all fields, and that's also what Tommy Troy can do. He knows where to put the ball. He's a situational hitter, and to me at 18, it makes all the sense in the world for the Brewers. Number 19, we have the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Tampa Bay Rays are going to be getting Colt Emerson here from Glenn High School in Ohio. This guy can play shortstop as well as third base. He has that versatility in him, good arm, and a good fielder. So I think that kind of fits the exact mold of what Tampa might be looking for here. I have Colt Emerson going to them. They're going to be looking to add some more guys in the infield in terms of where their minor leagues are sitting. One of the deeper organizations in all of baseball adds another tremendous talent here with Colt Emerson. Number 20, we have the Toronto Blue Jays. And to me, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to have to make a decision here with Bryce Eldridge, because Bryce Eldridge can, to be honest, at the professional level or going through the actual minor league system, he's going to be either a right-hander or a first baseman. I think that's kind of what we're looking at for him. He's got a good bat, good arm, has good mix on his pitches, and I think he's going to have to fully commit to what he wants to do, because we've seen it work with some of these guys that go through the minors, that are able to do both. However, I think he very well could opt to be a right-handed pitcher at the next level. So I think that's probably going to be the hyper focus for the Blue Jays. Now at 21, we have Nolan Schanuel. And Schanuel is one of those players that is an advanced college bat that the St. Louis Cardinals are definitely going to be looking to rely on. I think they're going to be looking for some impact bats at that position in the outfield. To me, Nolan is one of those guys that is going to be a big impact bat right away. He's going to be a guy that can hit consistently for contact, so I like him at 21. 22, I have Matt Shaw from Maryland. Matt Shaw is one of those intriguing prospects that I don't think is getting enough hype. Seattle Mariners are going to be looking potentially for a middle infielder in the first couple of rounds. I think Matt Shaw, in terms of his actual value standpoint, he makes a lot of sense here at 22. And I think with his ability to hit the ball consistently and with, a lot of exit velocity, this is the perfect Mariner pick. 23, we have the Guardians, Brock Wilken from Wake Forest, another big power guy, good frame. He is going to hit for a tremendous amount of power. That's exactly what this Guardians organization needs as a whole, in my opinion. That's one of the, some of the weaknesses in this organization. They have some power guys, but I think you need to continue to add to that. So adding one at the hot corner is going to be super beneficial for them long term. And I see this being a good outcome for Brock Wilken, who is one of those players that it might need a little bit of time here to make some adjustments at that minor league level. But if you unlock his power, it's going to be one of the better prospects in the class. 24, I have Jacob Gonzalez from Ole Miss. I think from a value standpoint, the Braves would not bat an eye here. For how they've built their organization, it's never been on cold positional need. This has just been the sheer standpoint of who is the best player available. And to me, Jacob Gonzalez is that. They have never shied away from taking a guy that they thought they had enough depth in, and they just go for it. It doesn't matter the positional group. They just go ahead and take it. Jacob Gonzalez, smooth glove, smooth hitter, and overall probably the best player available at this point. 25, we have the Padres, and to me, Chase Davis, the big thing to note about him, he has tremendous power, tremendous power, and in one of the corner outfield spots, I think he's going to be able to stick with a potential 20-25 home run guy. The Padres are adding another power outfielder that's going to be able to help them long term with hitting, and he could be one of those guys that might not take long to make it through the system. 26, we have the Yankees, Charlie Soto, powerful throwing right-hander from Reborn Christian Academy in Florida. This could be a very Yankee pick, taking a guy with a tremendous amount of upside. And to me, they're going to be looking for another arm in that minor league system. So Charlie Soto is the pick for the Yankees. 27, we have the Phillies. And to me, I look at Enrique Bradfield as being one of those players from Vanderbilt that is going to be a very impactful fielder. He's a tremendous fielder, but he has elite speed. This guy can absolutely fly around the base pass. He's going to be a stolen base threat once he gets to the major leagues. I think he's going to continue to work on his craft with that. Stealing bases is a true art, and he takes pride in that. And I think that is where he's going to excel at the next level. And then finally, at 28, we have the Houston Astros. Sammy Stafura from Panis High School in New York. I highly considered him with the Yankees pick. It felt like a natural fit. But at the end of the day, I think Stafura, in terms of his actual athleticism and what some of the versatility he can bring to a team, that is a very Astros-esque pick. Taking a really quality prep bat is, nothing short of what the Astros would do. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also leave a like on today's video if you did enjoy the content. We'd appreciate you stopping by and checking out the MLB content. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any more of the MLB content we make here at Utility Sports Plus.